Google has always dominated search engine wars, but how about AI search engines? What's the landscape? That's what this episode is all about, so tune in. Welcome to Real Estate AI Flash, the podcast dedicated to real estate professionals to demystify AI and give you practical strategies that you can apply to your business today. I'm your co-host, Rajeev Sajak.
And the other co-host, Jimmy Burgess, and we are excited for you to be a part of this. If you haven't had a chance yet, make sure you go out and that you subscribe to the podcast. Also, we would really appreciate if you could leave us a review. It helps us spread the message that as a real estate community, we are stronger together. Now let's get to this episode.
Well, the search wars have been dominated by Google for many years. But now, with the entrance of AI and conversations with AI, how about the AI search wars? That's what this episode is all about, Jimmy. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is going to be great because what we're seeing is anytime that there is innovation like this, especially in areas where we have always done things a certain way, it always gets better for the consumer. And in this case, it always gets better for the agent or the broker owner. And so this is why it's going to be fun to talk about this a little bit is we're going to give you some background on some of the things that we've seen, some of the things in the way that Rajeev is using this, some of the ways that I've been using this in a way that can hopefully help you begin to, how do we say this? Our mission is to give you the best information so that you can understand it and expose you to some of these things. And if you so choose, how does it go? If you so choose to accept your mission, is to go out and test these things yourself, figure out some ways and really expand on the information we're going to provide.
Yeah, and we've been big fans on this show, Jimmy, of Perplexity. We've touched on Perplexity quite a bit. So maybe we should level set the AI search engine revolution, since it's just getting started. As more and more people embrace AI tools, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, doesn't matter which ones, I think the conversational AI is coming to centerfold, which is really the concept of asking AI a question and it responding like a human. Versus the traditional Google search gives you 10 blue links and it relies on you to kind of dig deeper and spend the time. So if you're the kind of person that just wants to get answers like a human, conversational AI or AI answer engines is really where you need to look into. And if I were you, I would download Perplexity like yesterday and start using the free version. And we're going to get into some of these features, but Perplexity is the leader today. But we decided to do this episode because ChatGPT launched SearchGPT. We'll put the link to the waitlist because it's only available for 10,000 people. And they've said that it's going to come to the plus users of ChatGPT in the fall. Maybe it comes under ChatGPT 5, doesn't matter, but we're going to get it. So the beauty of this is ChatGPT's got 180 million daily users. Perplexity only has got like 10 plus million, but they kill it. So this war is just getting started. So we should dive into it for sure.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's interesting, the difference in the typical search that we've always done through Google is, like you said, I would do my search and then it would give me, and I would have to scroll through the articles to figure out the one that was most relevant. Then I would have to go through the article and I have to find the details I was looking for. And then I would have to decipher that information. The beauty of this is you ask it, and then when it comes back, you have the ability to then ask another question and it will immediately answer that question instead of you having to search for it. So this is where it's going to save time, be more efficient, and it's pulling from all of those different areas, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, let's get into this, Rajeev. This is good stuff here.
Yeah, and I think most of our listeners know that AI a la ChatGPT are prone to hallucinations because it's just gathering information. And we'll give you an example of that with how Google got into some hot soup with AI overviews here shortly. But the beauty of Perplexity or answer engines is they don't make up stuff. They're going to link you to stuff and give you an answer that makes sense to you for the question you ask. So as an example, Jimmy, the other day, someone asked me, hey, are you aware of this New Jersey state law that was signed about buyer agency agreements August 1? I was sort of aware, but not really aware of the depth of the article. So I simply asked Perplexity, what is this law that the government signed? And it gave me 5 things from the agreement. And all I did was I read it and I clicked share and I sent the link to the person that asked me the question. And that was literally under a minute. Now imagine if you had to do that on Google, it would have probably taken you, even if you were really good, 15, 30 minutes to really get to the bottom of it. So this is all about productivity and saving time.
Yeah, no, and you could have had a follow-up question, highlight and give me more details on number 2 that you mentioned, or whatever it is, where you don't have to then go search more. You just have to ask the question, and it does all that for you, brings it back, and it's in a conversational tone where you can understand it.
100%. So SearchGPT has been released to 10,000 people in the world, which is crazy. If you get in, you get in. So hopefully my waitlist thing is going to get opened up here soon so we can get access to it. But I suspect they're going after Google and they're going after Perplexity. And they want to have more people join ChatGPT. So a classic example of not to believe everything an answer engine gives you, for those of you that have not kept up with Google AI overview. So when you went into Google, like maybe a couple months ago, besides the 10 blue links at the top, it was giving you AI generated answers. And they got into real hot soup, Jimmy, because the user, this was the infamous example that they had to shut it down because of this. So someone asked the question, when I'm making pizza, what do I do for the recipe so the cheese doesn't spill off on the edges, was the question. And it found an article on Reddit, because look, these search engines are just kind of finding information. They don't have the cognitive ability to kind of put reasoning behind the answer. So someone was humoring, hey, I think you should mix in some glue to the cheese. So that's the answer it gave from an article on Reddit 11 years ago. So again, these engines are not be all end all, but it gets you to the closer to the finish line so you can actually scrub the information to make it accurate. But I've been using Perplexity. I know you and I are big fans of it. We use it personally. We use it professionally. And I've not gone to Google in the last week. And I think that number is going to continue over time. And I think Google's a big player. They're going to make AI overviews better and bigger because they shut it down to learn. But this is a space that we should all watch.
I agree completely. All right, let's get into some practical uses here. Also, that some of the agents and some folks, talk to me about some of the ways you're using it, and then maybe some ways that you see either that they can do it now or that it's coming that they can potentially use it as well.
So the 3 ones I would encourage people to watch is clearly start with Perplexity, because that's still our dominant AI search engine. But the next time you're thinking of looking up for information, I would suggest don't go to Google, go to Perplexity and start having a conversation. And you'll quickly realize the other thing that you sort of alluded to earlier, Jimmy, is when you ask it a question, it gives you its response, but you can start having a conversation almost like a human being that Google doesn't have today, right? Yeah. So sometimes the answers may not be on point. So start using it that way. So when consumers ask you a question, what are the values? The value of a buyer agent in today's market, you can build a nice little write-up that is with sources. And if you have the pro version, like I do, you can build a page that sits that you can simply text a link for market insights, anything that is data-driven, that is kept up to date. That's the beauty of this, right? Because when you share the page, they come back to that page and ask it a question. It references current information because Perplexity references all of the content on the internet and puts some reasoning behind it.
Yeah, no, and look, the beauty of this, I mean, we've talked about this free versus paid. It's the best deal going, y'all, if you're not on the paid versions. Obviously, start with the free, but at some point, if you're going to utilize this, go to the paid versions. The thing I see as an agent and as a broker owner is like you said, you could do market reports and it's active. It's something where it could have a page that's done that way. Lead capture pages. You could do specific neighborhood pages that will update with sales activity, those types of things. All of this can be a living document that you can have published, driving traffic to it from an agent's perspective that continues to do this. We always, the hot marketing thing was to have chat bots on your websites, a few years ago, where you would have it where it can start a conversation, it can answer certain things, it can do this. This gives you the ability really to have all of the data currently available to be able to have that where it can be an interactive site that we just don't have access to in right now. And so I think this is where agents should get excited is you're really only limited by the creativity and your mind of what you can think of as how can I utilize this to serve my buyers or potential sellers at a higher level. That's what gets me excited about it.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is for me, the gains that I'm seeing is productivity. So I save time on searching for information, research of any information. I could be on a phone with you, Jimmy, and you ask me a question. I could ask Perplexity instantly, and it gives me a response that I can actually understand. That's the beauty of it. And then building those pages that we talked about. So the AI search engine wars are just beginning. So if you embrace Perplexity and as SearchGPT comes to ChatGPT Plus, you'll be ready. And when Apple Intelligence unlocks its features, you'll just embrace it because it's the way you do business.
Yeah. This is the thing. I think, well, if we would have, now here we are, basically looking back over the last year specifically, if you'd have told us where we were a year ago that we'd already be where we are, I think we'd be amazed. And I think even though we may have had a glimpse of it, I think 6 months from now to a year from now, we will not even be able to understand how far this technology has continued to evolve and the activity and the opportunities it is presenting for everybody that leans into it. So as we wrap this up, anything additional, Rajeev, you'd want to highlight this other than, obviously, my thing is get out there and try these things. Utilize Perplexity, utilize these so that you're prepared for these. What else would you say, Rajeev?
No, I think that's it. I think conversational AI is where it's evolving to as more people embrace AI chatbots. Conversations with these AI chatbots are just going to become part of how we operate, and start with Perplexity and embrace other things, and keep an eye on SearchGPT because it's coming in the fall to everybody that has a Plus subscription.
Absolutely. Listen, if you're a real estate agent, broker, or anyone that's just interested in AI, make sure that you subscribe to this podcast. Each and every week, we're going to continue to bring you the best information that will hopefully give you the opportunity to understand what's happening so that you can go out, test these things, and figure out how you can serve your clients at the highest level. Take care. We'll talk to you guys soon.
This podcast has been produced by TSC Studios. Music is courtesy of Soundstripe. Audio and video editing is provided by Noah Escobar. Graphic design by Melinda McKnight. And special thanks to Jordan Wilson of Your Everyday AI for the inspiration and expertise.